Time out. Let's see what we got, bro.
So he was jumping fences over here.
So no, you don't want to answer any questions?
That's what I thought. I thought you said I'll stay at the.
Law enforcement officers from multiple agencies have just swarmed
the
a man
feds
near a
watching you
daycare
kill
center in
somebody,
Lubbock,
bro, that
Texas.
shit
The young
crazy,
man,
bro.
Maurice Hendricks, was cool.
So you telling me as a killer, as a murderer, as a nigga that killed other people, you don't have good observation skills to see that the feds was watching? I ain't gonna lie, the feds do be sneaky, my nigga, but you, nigga, what the spidey senses, nigga? Come on, man.
Cooperative, to a point, as if he had been unaware why he was being detained. He had no idea that police officers had actually witnessed the horrible act he had just committed 5 blocks away.
911
Insane.
is your emergency.
Yes, ma'am. This man just shot this woman over here off of 65th Drive.
Little could the man on the 911 call know, but the shooting had been witnessed by a handful of people, one of which was a Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives special agent who had been...
Bro, ATF, my nigga? A ATF agent watch you physically shoot somebody. Nigga, it's raps, bro. Give him the book, throw away the book and the key, nigga. Over with.
surveilling the location specifically to watch for the perpetrator of this terrible crime, Maurice Hendricks. In addition, a man walking down the street on his way to a rendezvous with a new girlfriend happened to turn the corner and look up just as Maurice pulled the gun and shot Ariel at contact range in the head. And most tragically, the murder was committed right in front of Ariel's 3-year-old son.
Bro.
The world stopped for just a moment for everyone in the area.
Bro, you niggas be having no sympathy, gang. Not only you shouldn't have shot her because she a female, gang, but she got a child right there. No morals, bro. You deserve to get locked. Fat.
Except for Maurice and the young boy nicknamed Peanut. Maurice coldly and calmly walked away while Peanut yelled out for help, turned and found a stick and a piece from a broken car window with some glass shards in it and made his way to chase down the murderer. Remember, this child is 3 years old.
Wow,
he was stopped by a neighbor woman who gathered up the child and held on to him as police sirens wailed in the distance. As police flowed into the area, Maurice picked up his pace and headed away from the scene. A Texas Department of Public Safety helicopter overflew the area and quickly reported seeing a man in an alleyway between the streets. He had recently hopped over a fence and ditched some clothing and a bag before heading further away. They reported him looking around nervously. 2 blocks later, just after passing a police recruit training office and just before crossing a fence into a pediatric health daycare center, police swarmed Hendricks. At multiple gunpoints, he would surrender and lay himself on the ground.
So he was jumping fences over here.
Yeah.
Hey, it's still in his pocket, right?
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's still in his pocket. You need gloves or you got some? We're good.
Bro, I hope they not saying the gun's still in your pocket. So you don't walk a couple of blocks and you still got the G in your pocket, bro. What kind of criminal is this? First you kill a motherfucker in front of the feds. Then you walk some blocks with the strap still on you, bro. Who you think you is, my nigga? That shit crazy.
Hang on a sec.
Insane, bro.
You think the kids would be... One of the patrol guys was...
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a million PD marked units over here, but can we get one that we can stuff this guy in the back of it?
Yeah, they might be over at the original scene. I'll get you one.
Huh?
No, just
There's another pistol. Hold on.
no fuck.
Thank you for being honest. All right, roll them over to that way. Or if you don't mind. All right. Just one.
Gloves? You got some?
You got anything else on you, buddy?
What's that?
Hey, once these guys get done searching you, we're gonna roll you up and sit you up so you can catch your breath, all right? It's hard to do that on the fly to your back.
Hendricks is being cooperative, helpful even. He's catching his breath and measuring his words carefully.
Yeah. Hey, big guy. Sit you up. Yeah. Ready? We're just gonna sit here and catch your breath, all right?
Hey, if you want to lean against me, you can, buddy. Hey, buddy, what's your name?
He talking about you want to lean on me.
Maurice Hendricks.
I'm sorry?
He only being nice because
Maurice
they know they
Hendricks?
got that
Okay.
nigga. They
Hey,
know they
I
got
don't have
him.
a bunch of questions for you. I just have one, and it's for the safety of the public, okay? Obviously, you're under arrest because I think you have a warrant for your arrest and whatever else, all right? But I have to read your Miranda warning, and I just want to have a quick conversation about any other guns that might have been tossed. Does that make sense? Okay.
Let's talk about that warrant, because it is an integral part of what has happened, why there were law enforcement on scene at that one particular tragic moment in time. Just a few nights before, a Stripes convenience store in Lubbock, Texas was robbed at gunpoint. The lone robber, in dark clothing, had approached the counter to make a purchase. When the worker behind the counter opened the register, the man drew a small caliber pistol and then moved around the counter. He proceeded to take all of the money from the drawer, place it in a large bag, and then started to leave. But not before stealing a handful of cigarillos that were on display. In the process, he left.
Bro, taking some cigarettes during the robbery, my nigga, that shit is insane, bro. A whole pack of menthol gone, my nigga. 305 bucks. It hit
A
them.
large number of fingerprints all over the cash drawer and the display. The fingerprints matched up with those of Maurice Hendricks, who had been brought in on a domestic violence charge a couple of years before. Being effectively homeless, drifting between family members' homes, those of friends and short-term girlfriends, he would be hard to find, except because he had a trail of domestic abuse charges behind him. Police were able to narrow down their search area quite a bit. A regional gang violence task force spread out to check the locations of old relations to begin surveillance on the chance that he might show up sooner or later. The ATF agent had been assigned to watch the home of Ariel Cade, a place she had just moved into a little over a month before at 1303 65th Drive. Ariel's home had been on their watch list because there had been a 911 call between the two a few months before. While no charges were pressed at that time, the two apparently had a physical altercation with injuries to each. Hendricks had refused treatment, but Ariel had to be transported to a local hospital for minor wounds. Contacts had made law enforcement aware of her new location and that the two were still a couple. The ATF agent in his unmarked truck had pulled up just after the two had been having an argument outside. A neighbor said they had first heard loud shouting between the two and multiple door slams before the argument spilled out into the street. The witness said they saw Maurice chasing Ariel around a parked car on the street before the two went back inside. Thinking the fight, one of many that had happened on a regular basis, was over, the witness returned to their own activities. It was during that lull that the two came back outside from the apartment, this time with Peanut in tow, and the arguing began again. The ATF agent's report reads that as the two argued, he saw Maurice pull a pistol from his pocket, put it to Ariel's head, and shoot her. As Hendricks walked away, the ATF agent put out an immediate alert call and went to render assistance to the woman. Since this was known to be an area Hendricks haunted on a regular basis, numerous plainclothes and uniformed officers were already in the vicinity, each with a solid description of the suspect. They weren't looking for an armed robber anymore. A cold-blooded murderer was within their net that had already been cast. Luckily, no one else would come to harm. Officers and canine units would patrol the area looking for weapons or items that Hendricks had discarded during his attempted escape. Another man, Michael Stewart, had also been detained in the area as police searched for Hendricks. Michael Stewart, however, turned out to be a witness to the murder and had actually been the man who had gotten some of the nearby apartment dwellers to call 911 to get help for Ariel. He would volunteer to come in and tell what he had seen while on his way to meet up with the woman he had met earlier.
So,
all these goddamn ass, bro.
you said there was a little kid. How old?
Well, first of all, I don't know how old he was. He wasn't that big. He had to be from like 05.
5 years oldish.
Yeah, they weren't that big.
So you white black Hispanic?
It was a black dude.
Little black kid.
It was a black dude and a black baby.
Okay. Were you were gonna say something? I'm sorry.
And when he shot her, he grabbed her, he threw her.
Okay.
When he did all that, I already knew, but everything's running through my mind. So I'm trying to go back, and that's when I seen him.
Okay.
I asked him and another guy, I said, can one of y'all call the police? Because my phone, my phone is on Wi-Fi.
He would go on to explain that at first no one wanted to help, and then goes on to animatedly tell what happened.
Everybody was like, he was like, well, I don't have no,
But I'm saying though, if the officer already on scene, he shouldn't even have to do all this anyways, unless the fucking officer just watched the lady get shot and what he did after.
Ball type shit.
Yeah.
So I ended up walking past her body. When I walked past her body, I walked across the street. I never walked in front of the building where she was at.
Is that Spanish Flair?
No.
Where she was at?
No.
Okay.
She was in that building when y'all found her.
Again, I haven't been out there.
Well, that's her first and her last spot. She was standing right there.
Okay.
She was standing right there. You can see them having a conversation. And the dude is like this. He shot this way. And she leaned. When she got shot, she leaned. He grabbed her by the head. Threw her. Well, no, I guess it's this way.
Fuck?
So he shot her. He grabbed her. Boom. Threw her this way. And that's where she was at.
That's where she lived.
Mind you, he did all this while the kid right there standing there. That's the money, man. That shit is crazy.
And then I'm like right before you get to Spanish Flair.
Okay.
So I really can't, like I told the other people on the scene, I can't give you no description how you look. I know he had on a black and white backpack. Okay. And he had on a jacket. That's one thing I can remember. He had on a long sleeve or something.
Okay. What color?
Black.
Black.
Because they pulled me over, made me get on the ground because I got on all black.
Yeah.
Of course, nigga, you black in the area of a shooting.
So,
nigga, your ass gonna get down if you had on all pink, my nigga.
It
was over, cuz.
So I walked down the street. I have a beer in my hand. So I set the beer at the end of the block. And I went to the little business place right there that's at the end of 65th.
Okay. Yeah.
And I knocked on the door and I opened it up and I said, can someone please help me? This girl just got shot right here. It was a white man that walked out that had khaki pants on and everything. He was on the phone. But by that time, I already heard the helicopters and all that
going on. Yeah.
So I was like, damn. Okay. And then when I walked out, everybody pulled up on me and told me to get on the ground.
Michael Stewart was bothered by the lack of desire for the people there to be involved, to help out.
I'm turning, I'm looking at him. I said, the dude right there, he just killed this girl.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, fuck all that. Like, I wanted to chase him so bad, but I know that's what y'all telling me not.
I know.
Man.
At the same time, you got.
I'm glad you didn't chase, bro. You probably would have been the next body, bro. He probably would have turned around, quit sniped your ass. Why would you chase a nigga with a gun, bro, that you just seen not scared of shit? He just shot this lady. You think he not finna turn around and shoot a nigga chasing him, fam? I'm glad you didn't chase, bro. You here to tell this story. Real shit.
Nothing to do if he pulls a gun on you, Yeah. I understand though.
And I just tried to get help to her. Even though it's a kid in the situation, I tried to get help to her.
Anything else you could think of that you saw, heard? Did you hear any words exchanged?
I never heard none of that because I wasn't that close to hear anything.
Just a few doors down at the Lubbock Police Department headquarters, an emotionless Maurice Hendricks was brought in for questioning by Detective George Madrigal. After being read his rights and agreeing to speak without an attorney, Hendricks proved to be anything but helpful.
You tell me, what were you doing today at 1300 block of 65th Drive?
1300 block. 65th Drive.
Yeah.
Where'd the...
Bro, you know exactly where that's at, my nigga. He gonna hit him 1300 block. Man, you know what that said, cuz. Stop that shit.
That's right by Motel 6 east of that. East, north from there.
That nigga still don't know, huh?
Those apartments right there.
I bet.
You know what the stadium is right there at Motel 6? That area, just one block north.
No, sir.
Just book his ass, man.
All right. What's that?
Oh, I said no, sir.
Yeah. All right. Can you tell me what you did today, sir?
Let me guess, you don't know what you did today either, huh, nigga?
This early this morning when you woke up, what you did today?
Hendricks has decided to play dumb for the moment. He doesn't want to even admit that he was in the area or that he had any idea that something had happened.
What is the incident that occurred?
Well, the incident I'm talking about is what occurred today. All right. And I'm trying to get to what you've done all day today. And then we can get to that point, okay? Okay. Where we start today? Let's just start off with today right now.
If it doesn't have to do with the incident that I'm being held, detained for.
Okay. You don't feel comfortable talking about it? Okay. Can you tell me where you at when you were apprehended?
In front of a
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store preloaded with 20
some law enforcement office. Yeah.
Some law enforcement office. Where was that at? What area?
About 50th Street.
About 50th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what were you doing there?
I'm just walking.
Just walking. Where were you coming from?
Just walking.
But I get you were just walking, but where are you coming from?
Well, if we're not talking about incident.
Well, we're talking about that incident because you were eating that incident, and I'm talking about, and that's why I wanted to get to that point, what you were doing in that area.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He stumbles for a bit when Ariel is mentioned, but then he goes back to his stonewalling.
Do you know who Ariel is?
Yes, sir. I don't want to answer any more questions.
You don't?
I'm not going to talk about the incident. You're asking me about
that's why I'm asking you right now. I'm getting to that point, sir. This is in reference to Ariel. You know the incident I'm talking about?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Maurice, I'm gonna be very straightforward with you.
I mean, I guess when you get caught for a crime, it's the best way to act. But shit,
things can happen. They're out of your control.
The feds don't already watch you do it. It's over,
stressful
bro.
situation or not. But I wanted to bring up here, give you the opportunity to tell me what happened and why it happened. You understand me? Because only you can tell me that. And you know what I'm talking about, okay? I mean, we know what you did, but I wanted to give you the opportunity why you did that or what happened. Okay?
Well, still.
Lock him up.
We have witnesses that saw you, okay? You were in possession of a couple of firearms, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Whenever I was detained, yes, sir.
He said, all right. And did you use one of those firearms today?
No, sir.
Okay. We're going to test you for GSR.
What's that?
GSR is gunshot residue. Okay. That will show you if you fired a gun or not today. Okay.
Surely the man has to know they have him dead to rights, but he continues to play dumb.
I heard what you're saying, but I don't understand why I was detained.
Witnesses saw you with the firearm at 1365th Street. And what is Ariel to you again?
You never asked me that, sir.
I'm asking you now. What should you?
Oh, well. If we don't have any questions, if you don't have any questions about
the incident in question,
about me being here, and
the reason you're here,
I'm here.
The reason you're here is because witnesses said we saw you argue with Ariel and pulling the firearm and actually shooting her.
That's crazy.
That's why I had you in here.
Yeah, my nigga, it is crazy. It's insane.
We have witnesses saying you were arguing inside the apartment, and you were in possession of a firearm, and you pointed it at her.
I lie, they got them iced coffee hidden, bro.
Okay. Jim, what do you have to say about that?
Anything to say about that, sir?
Okay. Once again, I'm going to ask you: did you fire a firearm today?
He's been confronted with what people saw, where they found him, that they had found weapons on him, and that they will test him and the
Smith and
clothes for
Wesson,
further
Taurus.
evidence that he had fired a gun. Hendricks continues to throw up a wall between himself and the truth, no matter how flimsy it's becoming. Finally, the detective tries to give Hendricks one more chance to give his side of the story, to move the needle a little bit from cold-blooded murderer to some kind of explanation.
I don't mean to disrespect you in any way. I'm talking to you as a man, just giving you an opportunity to tell me what led up to this, because I know things can escalate quickly. I know there's probably something that was going on between you and her that I'm not aware of, and that's why I'm bringing you in here. I'm not trying to play no games with you. I'm just giving you an opportunity to tell me what led up to this. What was the issue? What was going on? Can I speak to a lawyer? Yeah, right. If I read you your rights, whatever you says you're all rights, I'm taking that problem.
Over the next few minutes, a forensic technician would come into the office, do gunshot residue tests on his hands, photograph his hands and clothes, also collecting all of his clothes for further lab testing. When forensics had completed their job, Hendricks was taken to the county jail for holding. There, he would be charged with first-degree murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Maurice Hendricks would be placed under a $580,000 bond and appointed a public defender. He would remain in custody.
I bet 100% he ain't making it. They don't even look like he got $2 to his name. An $880,000 bail. You got to put up what, 10% of that? He's sitting, my nigga.
For a year and a half before a final reckoning before a judge. At the scene of the shooting, the first officer to arrive to her side reported that he saw blood flowing from under her dreadlocks. He located the wound and used his thumb to staunch the bleeding as best he could. Ambulances arrived on the scene just minutes later, and paramedics worked feverishly to save 22-year-old Ariel's life, and police worked to secure the crime scene. Child Protective Services also came to secure the young boy and find other relatives.
Damn.
Ariel was brought to a local hospital where policemen on scene would report. Doctors and nurses worked feverishly to stabilize her. Hours later, they were able to move her to a surgical intensive care unit.
She didn't make it.
As family members rushed to be there for the young mother, it became clear that the damage was too extensive. Her brain had suffered much too much injury, and activity had ceased. She was unable to breathe on her own. She was pronounced at 6:38 p.m. on Friday, March the 15th.
Wow, bro.
It would be the next day when Ariel's younger sister, Zayla, would speak with Detective Madrigal. Devastated by the loss, the young student from the University of Houston had
Roughly
spent the
10
prior
minutes
week
left.
with her sister and had been in constant contact with her. She knew very well what kind of relationship Maurice and Ariel had. She had no problem discussing it, and she had text records to back up what she said.
He was very, controlling over her. He didn't like when she went places. He didn't like when she had people over.
He looked like one of them type, bro.
The day that he called me and she was telling me that they were arguing and that she just didn't want to be at the house. She was just telling me, she asked me where was I at, and I told her I was at the house because my car wouldn't start. And she was like, yeah, I gotta go get my car out the impound because it got towed.
Ariel's car had been towed from a convenience store where Maurice had left it with a blown-out tire. A towing company had moved the car to their impound lot and were holding it after it had sat for 5 days in front of the store. This was not the first time Ariel's car had been towed away after Maurice had left it somewhere.
She was talking
Careless,
about it because they were just got into too many problems, but she loved him too much, so she wasn't gonna leave.
How long have they been dating?
That be the problem, bro. Y'all be in these toxic relationships, bro. If it's that toxic, it ain't love, my nigga. Let it go. Cause shit like this end up happening 9 times out of 10, bro. It don't be worth it.
They started over this summer. This summer when I came back from college, it was like around May they started talking.
So less than a year.
Yeah, less than a year. But they moved into this house together. When did she move in? Like February 15th. they moved into the house.
Detective Madrigal returns to the day of the incident with Zayla.
What did you do after that?
I was just sitting down on the couch, and she called again at 1:38, but it was just like one of those quick, like, call and then they hang up. And I tried to call right back, but I guess she didn't answer, so I just assumed that, like, they were talking about it or something like that.
But she didn't give you any details what was going on?
No, she was just like, she was just telling me, like, he's always trying to argue. I don't got time for that shit. Woo, woo. But he would always, like, he would make threats to her all the time. He would always act like crazy. He would take her phone.
And when you say threats, like, explain.
Like he'll say stuff like you think this a game? I'll show you. Or he'll say like he'll say.
I know this ain't easy, but I appreciate you coming down.
Sad, bro. Sad.
He'll be like, I'll kill you if you try to read me, Ariel. But like, I don't know why today's society make that okay. Make stuff like that okay.
Did you hear him say that before?
She would just tell me, or like the messages between them, he would be like very arguing with her and just telling her stuff like that. But you know, she just was thinking that it was just all talk.
So she told you at one time he had threatened?
He told that to my brother. My mom said that my brother told her. He said that, just stuff like that. He would always be just like.
Hold on, to the brother.
You better.
To the brother is different now. I wish some motherfucker would. Now to the brother, he supposed to got out that with bro ass. Facts. What you mean, nigga? He supposed to made her leave him and all. But I get you can't really force people to do certain shit. So I mean, that's crazy.
And I'll leave you ain't nothing without me. Just stuff like that.
Okay. When he would make threats about taking her life, did he ever say how he would do it or anything?
No, we didn't get into all of that.
Like in many cases of domestic violence, the aggressor is often seen as all talk and no action, until one day they change, sometimes with dire consequences.
He said, is Maurice acting right? That was Tuesday, and she texted him at Thursday at 1:34. No, I want him to leave. He won't leave. He takes my phone every time I try to call someone to come get us. And Maurice's dad texted back at 2:43 and said, what is your address and does he have that gun?
And that was when? Tuesday?
Thursday.
The day of?
The day of.
What time?
Her message was at 1:34 p.m. on Thursday, and his message was at 2:43 p.m. on Thursday. And when we were out of town together, when she was at my house, she got a call from Maurice's mom, and she told her, "Have you seen Maurice?" And she's like, "No, I'm out of town with my sister." And the mom was like, "Well, he broke into his dad's house and stole 2 of his guns." And we were just like, "Dang, that's crazy."
So the guns that he got found with, that was on his personnel at the time he got caught, and 9 times that Smith & Wesson and that Taurus, 9 times out of 10 that was the dad guns. The one he hit shit. Merch. I'm willing to bet.
Oh, he do that.
Had in fact stolen a handgun from his father's girlfriend's house, a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson SD-40 that had a laser sight attachment. The pistol was seen on security camera footage in the convenience store robbery
okay,
and was recovered
what about
with
that
the laser sight broken off from Maurice's pocket at the time of his apprehension. The Smith & Wesson, however, was not the murder weapon. That was a .22 caliber Taurus PT-22 that was also found on Maurice when he was brought down. This pistol, poorly cared for with a broken magazine catch, had been used to fire the single shot that ended Ariel's life. The autopsy would show the bullet had been fired from contact range, entering the right front portion of her head, with the wound channel moving through to the back left side of her head, where the bullet would lodge.
Had he ever been violent with her in the past?
She went to the hospital It was February 19th where she went to the hospital.
Which hospital, you know?
UMC.
What injuries did she have? Did she explain to you what had happened?
Yeah, she just texted us and she texted us and told us if she just texted us in the group chat. It was like, if Maurice comes to your house, will you let me know? He stole all my stuff. I'm at the hospital. He got my car, my phone, and my house keys. And
Bro,
my
this
mom went and
nigga
picked her
is
up in the hospital and
fucking
said that she
insane,
had like
dog.
bruising and scratches down her back and on her face.
Did she tell you how she got those injuries?
Yeah, she said she was trying
That nigga Maurice to blame, but I also blame her too, cause like she should have left that nigga, bro. She should have dealt. I ain't gonna lie.
to like run to the car and leave, and he just pushed her over and took the keys and like left in the car. And like their house outside has like a lot of gravel and like a lot of rocks. So
he
pushed her onto the rocks, yeah.
Onto the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zayla comes back around to the part of the story that seems repeated too often in domestic violence cases. Something too many fail to recognize as a clear warning sign and a cry for help.
She said she was tired. He never let her do anything, or he was always mad whenever she got paid. Every time she got paid, they got into like an argument.
Why?
She said he felt like he didn't feel like a man, but she always told him like, I don't care what you have or don't have, like I just love you for you. And she was just trying to get that through his head, but
him,
she said it made him feel some type of way because he didn't have money and she did, and he thought that she thought she was better than him, so she would always like give him all the money. She just got her income tax. She like bought him games, gave him money just so he wouldn't like feel bad, or just so he wouldn't like argue with her about it. Be like, she was making it a joke, but like now that I think back on all this, it really makes me upset that I didn't see. She would just be like, I might as well have the time of my life because he gonna kill me when I get back. And we just laugh, and I'm just like, girl, like just like you
She
know,
made
just,
that
like,
comment?
yeah. And I'm just like, girl, like you know, just laughing it off because she would laugh. So I'm like, she's just joking, like, cause yeah, she was just joking around. But
Was he upset that she went over there?
Yeah, he would blow her up. Like he was blowing her phone up, and when she didn't answer, he would call me and be like, where's Ariel at? And I'm like, she's laying down asleep. He's like, well, can you wake her up? And so like, yeah, he would like call. When she wasn't answering, he would call my phone. And he would text my boyfriend and be like, I don't know what they're doing. They're probably doing some sneaky stuff, like just a lot. But I didn't think that he would.
And then Zayla makes a statement bringing home just how dangerous and dire domestic violence can be.
The child care place he was at, he called me while I was at the hospital. And he was just like, Nanny, and I was like, yes. He was like, my mama got shot. And I was like, I know, baby, I know. He was like, can you come pick me up? And I was like, I'll come pick you up. But they wouldn't let us come get him. He went to Abilene with his dad.
Did he tell you any more? What happened?
No, he just kept saying, like, every time he called, he'd be like, my mama got shot. And then my little sister was like, yeah, we know. He was like, Bubby's, he called Maurice Bubby's. He's like, Bubby's shot my mama. And he just kept saying that.
Maurice.
As a 3-year-old, bro.
And so I guess he was
3-year-old, bro. Come on, gang.
And that is the tragedy of it all. A young woman's life ended, a small child witnessed all of it who will carry that throughout their days, and a young man, just 21 himself at the time, sitting in a jail cell not knowing what he had done, at least for the moment. The evidence in the case would prove to be overwhelming, and Maurice Hendricks would eventually take a plea deal in exchange for a murder charge with a sentence not to exceed 55 years and having the other charges against him dropped. Maurice Hendricks would admit his guilt. Maurice Hendricks would receive a 55-year sentence for murder. He is eligible for parole on September 13th, 2051. Should he not be found deserving of parole, he could remain incarcerated until 2079. He was credited for 580 days of time served prior to sentencing. He is currently being held at the French Robertson Unit in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice in Abilene, Texas. If you or someone you know is under the threat of domestic violence or abuse, please reach out. There are resources in your area worldwide. They are there for your protection and for the preservation of
that
your
shit
life.
crazy. Alright, y'all, that's gonna be the end of this video, man. Crazy outcome. If y'all fuck with this video, fuck with this channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, and I'll see y'all in the next reaction video. Gang.